Welcome back to another episode of Season 5 of the RAG podcast. As you guys know by now, this is the number one podcast across the recruitment sector globally. And we've always been on a mission to help recruitment agencies grow by interviewing founders and telling their stories of success from startup all the way to scale up and exit. Well, this season we're a little bit different. We're not only going to do that, but we're going to focus on a little bit more. Since the pandemic began, we know so many people have struggled with maintaining their habits of success in work, but also everything else outside of work with it. You know, how do you as a recruitment leader and founder maintain your family and friendships whilst being the best person at work? How do you stay physically fit mentally and emotionally? And how do you find time for yourself in the madness? How do you find time for self-interest, for hobbies, and self-improvement? Well, to help you with this, I'm going to be interviewing someone every single week that can demonstrate experience in one or more of these areas. So I'm going to talk to recruitment founders and also some experts from outside the industry who can deep dive into things like relationships and health and well-being. That's every single week. You have an opportunity to learn from an expert or one of the most decorated, successful recruitment founders on the planet. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy today's show. Welcome to Season 5, Episode 2 of the RAG podcast with me, Sean Anderson, the CEO and founder of Hoxo Media. I'm buzzing to be back. Last week was wicked. I felt like there was real energy about the show being back. I've had loads of messages and buzzing for today's show. I will get into talking about today's guest in a moment. I'm excited about today. This guy is someone I know really, really well. I'll get into that in a moment. I want to touch on first our sponsorship messages because I'm really excited. I managed to secure a deal over the last couple of months with Volcanic, who are, I think everyone knows, the leading website provider to the recruitment industry globally. I love the guys at Volcanic. I've known them for years, Darren and Steve and plenty of the team. And the reason I wanted to partner with them was not only are they the best in class, I mean, they've got 1,800 websites in the recruitment sector globally and over 30% of UK, the top 100 recruitment businesses in the UK who use them. But I like what they're doing now to try and support the startup community as well as the scale and enterprise. And a lot of the people who listen to this show are the startup community. What I've managed to get from Volcanic, though, is, and as we come to the end of 2022, I've managed to get them to give RAG listeners exclusively an opportunity to measure the effectiveness of your website, and they're calling it an MOT for RAG listeners. Okay, so what that is, if you are interested, if you sat there now going, I'm not even sure if my website's any good, the amount of recruitment companies I speak to that say their websites are like landing pages and they're just like brochure sites. Well, what they're going to do, if you reach out to them for free, they'll give you some time and they'll measure your candidate attractiveness, your client engagement abilities, the brand building capabilities, and more. All you need to do to get access to this is go to www.volcanic.com/Hoxo. One of my team will put the link in the comments on this live episode. And if you're listening back on the podcast store, if you read the comments in the bio on the show, you'll see that link there as well. Our second sponsor are back for another season. These guys are known as District 4. If you don't know, District 4 are a business. They're a recruitment brand that are bringing top recruitment billers together to build a brand of experts. So they're not looking at scaling through the junior community. They're taking 200K plus billers and they're putting them to collectively work under the umbrella brand, and they're giving them support and training and guidance, and they're going to scale and grow that way. It's totally different. What they've asked is if you'd like to join them, they are running a recruitment startup 5-day challenge called So You Want to Start Your Recruitment Business. So for anyone sat in an agency right now thinking 2022 might be my year, over the next few days, you can go and do a 5-day challenge where they're going to help you explore your vision, your why, your financials, your market, and put together a proper business plan. It's only for experienced recruiters who want to go it alone and want to do it at a deeper level. They want to do it. They want to get it right from the start. At the end of the challenge, you'll either be raring to go to start your business, or you'll have decided it is not for you. They're not going to give you any bullshit. They're going to tell you the truth. It ain't for you. All right. If you want to do this and make 2022 your year, Monday the 8th of November to Friday the 12th of November 2021, they're going to be running a 5-day challenge every single day. So to be part of the challenge, there's a link. I can't even read the link out. It's too long, and I'm full of a cold. I'll mess it up. So look at the link in the comments again on LinkedIn, and look at the link on the bio on this episode on the podcast store. You do not want to miss it. All right, let's get into today's episode. Leo Harrison is today's guest. Leo is the founder of Chapter 2, a talent acquisition embedded model recruitment business that founded in January 2020, just before the pandemic began. I personally remember Leo going through this journey, and then when the pandemic hit, it was almost quite funny, really. It was like, what the hell's happening now? This isn't Leo's first business. He was in the founding team that launched a marketing agency called Oliver, which were an on-site building in-house marketing teams for some of the biggest brands on the planet. He scaled that business to 2,500 staff in 28 countries. He went from graduate employee to the global COO and then exited just before he launched Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is now one of the fastest growing recruitment companies on the planet, over 33 staff in 18 months, clients all over the world. And I'm delighted that he's taken the time to join us on today's show. So Leo, welcome. Welcome to the Rag.
How you doing? You okay?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I'm jealous of you. You're sat in your fancy flat in Waterloo in London. You're super relaxed. Well, I'm here up north, dying like a chimney sweep. I sound terrible.
Thanks, mate. It sounds more glamorous than it is.
I bet. Look, I've done a little intro there, mate, but just give us a bit better bird's eye view of what does Chapter 2 look like right now?
So yeah, thanks for the intro. So basically, Chapter 2. The reason why I founded Chapter 2 is because I was on the operational end of a very, very fast growing company. And I felt the pain of what I feel is the traditional approach to talent acquisition recruitment. And I wanted to do it a different way. And I believe we found a different way that adds more value to clients. Launched the business, as you say, January 2020. At that time, there was this thing going on in China and Italy that, didn't really make a difference to me. Didn't really think about it. Little did we all know that it was going to have a catastrophic impact to the world. And every opportunity, so you've got to imagine, right? So I had this like cushy job, right? I knew everybody in the business. I was part of the DNA of this business. And it was an amazing job, an amazing agency. And I quit it all to go and do this thing called Chapter 2. Wow. And I looked down the barrel of February, March 2020, thinking this is the worst thing I've ever done in my life. Yeah. Every opportunity cancelled, every meeting cancelled. Nobody was interested. And I know all the listeners will empathize with the trenches that everybody had to go through. Now, while everybody's saying today the recruitment industry is absolutely bubbling, let's not forget, we all went through hell in 2020.
Do you know what? I've been saying that this week. I've met a couple of clients and it's like, you know what? Like, all it is candidate attraction. Don't care about anything else. And I'm like, let's just have a little bit more foresight to how the market can change. Because remember a year ago, it was all about client acquisition. There was no jobs. And, we need to be humble and remember what went on last year and be open to the fact that things will stabilize and change quite rapidly. And I think you said, have you noticed that? Is it slowing down a little bit, do you think, right now?
I think, it goes as fast as we want to go. So, when the industry hockey sticks, right? So the industry completely changed, I think, from we felt the difference from October to December, where we started winning clients again. And it amplified in quarters 1 and 2, 2021, and it's continued to go. Is it cooling off? Maybe. Are we getting comfortable with the pace? Probably. Right. I think there's so much work to go for out there if you genuinely want to add value to your clients. And I think I think recruitment is generally the first thing to get impacted when a global economy falls over, but also it's the first thing to come back when it gets back on its feet. Yeah. So I think the recruitment industry is back up on its feet. And those that do it really well and very sustainably will continue to be successful. And the ones that do it like the average 45,000 recruitment companies in the world, they'll just plateau.
No, you're right. So look, there's so much we can go through in the next hour. There's literally, the angles we could talk about with you is insane. But let's go back to the start, right? So how old were you when you joined Oliver? You were early 20s, right?
I was 22 when I was at Oliver. Yeah, and I met the founder Simon Martin. In my interview was in a pub in Finsbury Pavement. I remember it like it was yesterday. And we had an interview. I got hit with a couple of really decent questions. Then we had dinner at a restaurant, which Simon and I still go back to regularly to reminisce. And then the next day I got a job offer. Yeah.
What was his vision like? What at that point? What did he see that you were brought into?
So Simon's vision has always been underpinned by three things, and we've talked about them in the past. It's been underpinned by something that's called market orientation, which is delivering sustainable customer benefits, having operational capability, and competitive differentiation, right? That is through the lifeblood of most successful companies out there. If you look at Virgin and all those other ones, and Oliver was no different. Yeah. So Simon is probably the most, probably the best business brain in the marketing industry globally, in my opinion. And he took this model. He was from the insurance background, running sales and marketing for insurance. He took this model into the advertising world and completely obliterated it, over a period of 10 to 15 years.
And how would you describe the model for people that don't know Oliver?
The model that Oliver do in the recruitment world, the easiest way to describe it, RPO for design agencies, basically. Yeah. Right. So we went in-house, and we used to go in and we used to build in-house creative agencies for our clients. We believe, and Oliver believed, that proximity and pace is a fundamental ingredient to helping brands to amplify their content. Just talk from a marketing and Oliver point of view for a minute. Because of these things, content is become increasingly fast, and you need to constantly be serving up really engaging content, because you've got a bullshit filter in your eyes that just scrolls past it, and it's always on. So you need to be always pushing out engaging content. The Oliver model allows you to put really creative content, really engaging content out really quickly, because they have embedded teams.
Yeah, and it's like you literally go into an organization, build their own design capability, their own creative capability internally. So your job throughout those years to go from literally supporting the founder in his vision to get into global COO, like how many different jobs did you have? Like, were you reinventing yourself year on year?
Yeah, I mean, I had to reinvent myself every year. I think every 18 months I had a new job, pretty much, whether it was official or unofficial. Every 18 months my job changed. And the best way to really describe it simply is that I was kind of like the first man in with most things that happened. So if we won a new client, generally I was the first guy in to go and implement that client. If we opened in a market, I went in and did that. If we bought a company, I went in and integrated it. And I had many different roles, but I like to think that I was effectively Simon's right-hand man for most of that journey of that building that business, or at least someone he could depend on and lean on as he built the business up, and contribute to the journey effectively. So yeah, I did every job and had to have every skill set. I'm kind of like I'm a massive generalist. Yeah, I'm not really good at anything. So.
You did like sales, account management. You solved problems. You just basically got shit done.
Yeah, like I'm literally like chief of get shit done and motivate people, keep people engaged, make people feel valued. I've got a good commercial background, running businesses, running commercials, keeping control of things like cost base, sustainable growth strategies, keeping the reins tight, as we grow, because it was a very, very fast growth company. It was 74% compound annual growth rate year on year. It was the fastest growing company in the UK 3 times over. Only 1% of companies ever do that. How
did you stay afloat then? Because you've talked to me about this triangular vision with your business, where your business looks like a triangle, and then a year or two later, it's a bigger triangle, and then you've got to kind of jump with the business, and you could effectively. There's a lot of employees in companies that end up being replaced or people going above them because they just can't move with it. Whereas you've been able to move from, say, a handful of people to 2,500. What do you think it was about you that made you adaptable enough to keep up the pace with the business?
I think I've got a sort of relentless tenacity for business and building my own career. Yeah. There was no way in the world I was not going to maintain the pace of that business. I just saw it failing if I didn't maintain it. I wasn't failing, but I felt if I wasn't maintaining the pace of that business and wasn't remaining at Simon's side every time the company grew, every time Simon grew, he built an SLT around him. I wanted to be on that SLT. And I probably think it was sheer competitiveness, ambition, and being relentless were the key things that made me maintain it. It was tough going.
And what was the biggest difference for you when it became so big? Like, to go from a small boutique business to a global corporate with 2,500 people. I don't know if you call it corporate or not, but it's a global brand with people in 28 countries. What's the biggest difference for you at that point?
I think the biggest difference, I think, for me is when you're a business of up to, I think, 100, maybe 200 people, your natural leadership and ability to reach everyone is easy from 0 to 50. It's pretty it's getting harder when you get to 50 to 150, and anything over 250 for you to personally be an engaging leader with everybody, know their names, know their families, know where they live. It gets harder and harder, and you dilute, right? Your management ability dilutes. And I think that you've got to bring people around you that you can work through who feel like they are embodying the business. They're not embodying you because I am the business, right? So I am the messenger. I work for the company. So chapter 2, my message is to make sure chapter 2 is lived and breathed through everybody else and on. And Simon's was from Oliver to make sure it comes through me to everybody else. So as we got bigger, the biggest challenge was making sure, like when you think about, yes, you can do it in the UK, but when you're talking about someone in Sao Paulo or Jakarta or Argentina, culturally massively different, different time zones, you only get, maybe half an hour with them every few days. To really get people on board and keep them engaged is probably the hardest challenge. And the biggest difference that I saw as we grew and maintaining that constant level of, Oliverness, that magic stuff.
Did you think you got that wrong at times? Like, did the business, did you have a point where you thought we're losing it here? Like, it's becoming the DNA is starting to drift, or?
I think Oliver did really well at it. I'm going to talk from a personal point of view. I went through a big learning curve, right? So I was 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, those years of my life, I'm a young, bit of an ego kind of kid who, is growing up in a fast growing company. And sometimes my management style needed to be adapted. And I recognize that now. And I did adapt it, and I took training, I took feedback, and I was open to learning. But yeah, I definitely probably wouldn't say fail, but I definitely needed course correction as I was growing up, because I was a kid growing up.
Yeah.
I'm not a kid. I'm not really a kid, but what I'm saying, I was a young executive trying to get somewhere, and sometimes I didn't have sometimes a level of empathy that I needed and that sort of thing. So I needed to change, and I think I like to think I did change as the company went on, but I had to recognize that.
Sounds like, the journey you went on must have been incredible. There must have been like, moments where you were like, how are we even doing this? Like, to go from a handful to 2,500, and the money that the business turned over was just on a totally different scale to what you probably as a 22-year-old could have imagined. Yeah. And I imagine for most of that journey, you were, it was engaging enough and you were involved enough that it was all, that was you, that was your journey. You were Oliver, and it was amazing. Yeah. When did you start to feel like your tracks were starting to deviate, and you were starting to think about maybe chapter 2 or whatever it was in its first. And when did the thought of being an entrepreneur outside of the business hit your radar?
I think it was. So there's a couple of things to say there. So like, I've always wondered. I was a number 2 guy for 15 years. And I always wondered if I could be a number 1 guy, run the company, take all the responsibility and lead and build something. And it was always a nagging thing at the back of my mind. Could I do it? Can I do it? I've always had this sort of safe incubation of this payroll, right? Because to be fair, right, come the end of the month, I still got my salary.
Yeah.
As someone who runs their own recruitment business or runs their own business does not have that luxury. We all felt that last year, right? Everyone, I can't imagine anyone who didn't take a pay cut last year.
Yeah.
But I've literally been running chapter 2 for 2 years, and as of this month, I'm now paying myself a salary.
Yeah.
As of this month, and I think that one of the main reasons I decided to do it myself was twofold. One, because I wanted to see if I could do it, be a number 1 man. But 2, I think a business gets to a certain size and scale. For me, again, my personal ambitions, that I want to be able to personally know everybody. And at 2,500 people, it's impossible. I just can't reach everyone. And you have to build a hierarchy, and you can't get to everyone. You can through virtual Zoom and things like that, but you can't know everyone that well. So I think I wanted to go back to having something that I felt was a bit more controllable, for me personally. So go a bit smaller again.
So you managed to make the decision. You managed to get out, which I know took you a long time. Negotiations because you had shares, and there's loads of things about non-competes and all sorts. You start a business, and then the pandemic hit. So what did you consider? Did you ever think about quitting at that point? And think, what the fuck? Giving Simon a call and just thinking, take me back, mate.
Back. Yeah, I did on a regular basis, on a very regular basis. So there was a moment in June 2020. I sat in the garden. I've got, for those who don't know, I've got two young kids, and I thought to myself, this just is this is a bad time. I'm just getting told no every single day. Nobody's interested. Recruitment is on its knees. There's just no demand whatsoever. So I said to my wife, look, I've got 2 young kids. Yes, I've got the ability through personal circumstances to be able to cover myself for a year. Should I just sit this one out, and should I shut it down, and then see what happens after that, after COVID? But so I did think about it. Yeah, I needed to quit in June. And
so
I'm glad
what was the reason you didn't do it?
Because I was so personally invested in it. By that time I'd spent nearly a year thinking about doing it and then actually doing it. I was, financially invested in it. So I'd already burnt through my own personal financial investment into the business. I've gone so far, it would have been completely wasted. I didn't want to go back to a role whereby I was doing 140 flights a year. And because I could very easily step back into a corporate role or a larger business role, been the global CEO of another company or been a CEO. But again, I didn't want to go back to doing 148 flights a year. In 2018, I did 148 flights, and I didn't see my son hardly. And I wanted to get that balance back. So I wanted to. I wanted to have a business that I can control my life through it, and also where I can help other people as well, and their lifestyles. I'm genuinely motivated by. I'm hoping that all of the employees of Chapter 2 get great things through the salaries and remuneration they have at Chapter 2 and have amazing lives. Because that's I had that.
So what is the idea then? So you've done the opposite of me. I've gone from recruiter to marketing owner. Fuck me, I've made some errors and I've literally questioned it a billion times whether I made the right decision. But I'm glad I've stuck to it. You've done the other way around. You've gone from, I mean, a much bigger scale than me, but you were a marketing agency background, and you've launched into recruitment world. What's the idea? Why do you think? Why did you have the confidence to do it? Do you think?
I had the confidence to do it because I was on the operational end of a very fast growth business. So any of my old Oliver colleagues will tell you I am no marketeer. Marketing was my product. I understood it. But when you sit me next to, I don't know, a strategist that knows how to pick apart a brand and take a brand to market, understand the personas, all that sort of stuff. I'm like a Fisher Price version of where they are. Marketing hadn't happened to be the product that I ran a business in, and my skill set is commercial management, running businesses, motivating people, setting a strategy, and just going and doing it.
Yeah,
and doing it at high quality and great pace. And I believe that some of the most successful businesses are built from pain points that you receive as a consumer. And recruitment was something for many, many years as Oliver grew, was a pain point that we found as a consumer because we grew so fast, right? It was only natural that talent acquisition was going to be a problem for us. And we had to figure out a way of doing it. So I personally invested myself and my time in thinking about how was the best way to attract the best talent that doesn't leave, beat the competition and do it really, really fast in locations that were thousands of miles away as well. So I set up Chapter 2 because I felt I had a solution to a pain that I personally received as a consumer of that product or as a client. And I felt there'd be more people like me. I could take this now, what's called the Chapter 2 model too, in order to be able to help them as well.
So what's going on then? So tell us, since that moment you nearly quit, I think after June, July, you would have saw the market slightly pick up, right? I think back end of last summer when we had that eat out to help out period, and that's when I saw across my client base, the recruitment market started to pick up, and it actually went really quite quickly. How fast it. So you nearly quit, you don't quit, you hold out another month or two, and suddenly, boom, you're in a different planet now. Like this, what's happened since? Give us that rocket ship overview.
So one of the things I've always believed in is investing all the profits back into the company, right? This is like my third child. And I, in order for it to be successful, I needed to invest back into it. So all the profits go straight back into the company and allowed me to hire really great people, buy some amazing technology products, and offer those people and the technology products to our clients. So it was November 2020, we were asked to pitch for the Collinson business, and we went out and pitched it. And one of the things that I believe we are good at and really know how to do, and it's something I was trained to do, is pitch really, really well. So I threw my heart and soul into the Collinson pitch. And we were successful in winning Collinson early in 2021. And again, we used that money to be reinvested back in the business, into more marketing, which we use you for. We used it for...
well, let's just say that. Let's just stop about. I mean, it's not a plug about us, but I don't know any other business who invested in, a considerable retainer in the brand and without revenue. Like, you started with us before you were making money. I remember, and you never once phoned us and said, by the way, Sean, like, I might have to cut this. Whereas clients who are making 50 million the year before were saying to me, can we think about what we're investing? Yeah. And I think that's what separates you from a lot of people in our sector is you've come from such a bigger mentality. You've seen such a bigger operation. You think bigger. Like you knew that, all right, if you ride out the storm, this investment's going to pay off. And then, the way that the way you're perceived online, I'm biased because we've been behind it, but it is, you do look, I get loads of compliments about you guys and how much you're doing and the way you stand out. And, all your teams are in the academy, and it's a really well-rounded strategy that you've invested in, which not many brands would do at the start.
No, I think it's probably because being from a marketing background, I know that marketing is not a light you can switch on and switch off.
No.
Marketing is an engine that you have to start up, get running, tune, tweak, fiddle with the dashboard and the knobs to make sure that everything's working okay. And stop doing things that aren't working, double down on things that are working. And it's a constant thing that we talk to you. I mean, we talk to your team twice a week, I think. Yeah. In fact, probably my team talk to your team on a daily basis, but I meet your team once or twice a week. They were with me this morning. So like, I was not switching off marketing. There was no way. If I wanted to get market presence in a market that I was not known in, I could not switch off the marketing, and it's paying back now. So we are, we are really, if you don't count COVID, because not a lot of people do, we are nearly 1 year old, and we are now actually, with the people coming in, 42 members of staff, and will, I should think, easily do 3 million this year. But that's because we've put out so much content about our model, our proposition, our beliefs, that we've created an awareness that when we're pitching against the guys that have been doing it between 6 and 10 years, we come in as someone who is as credible. And we win against them. We won against some big hitters, with our clients, PA Consulting, with Collinson, Opoly. We were pitching against some of the the names, the household recruitment names that you'd know, and I think marketing played a massive part of that, because without the awareness, they don't know anything about you.
You don't want to be the best kept secret in the market, a hidden gem. Like, who wants to be that? And I've said this before. If someone tried to turn my engine off, I'm behind a lot of it, but I've got a team, and you couldn't pay me enough money. I mean, you could buy the whole business if you want, but you couldn't pay me enough money to turn marketing off, because it's that, to me, it's literally everything, right?
Yeah.
So you're now in a position where you've got, like you say, circa 40 people, 3 million revenue, a year old. What does your day look like? Talk us through like a real, because I know you live in Jersey, you commute to London a couple of days a week. What does it look? What's an average day or a week like in the life of yourself personally?
So personally, my son generally gets me up at about 5:30, 6 in the morning. And I like to spend the first couple of hours a day with the kids. I used to go to the gym. I still try to fit the gym in where I can, but kids are the number one priority for me. Mm-hmm. So I give 10 hours a day to my job. Of the 24 hours we have in the day, 10 hours goes to the job. 7 or 8 of it goes to sleeping. The rest has got to go generally to the kids. Spend time. Morning goes with the kids. Then I'll get started about 8:30, and I believe in working through people. The only way you can get a lot of stuff done at pace is to consolidate a strong management team that you can work through and with, to get stuff done fast. I'm always on WhatsApp. I generally do check-in calls with everybody most days. I don't do too many sort of strategic one-to-ones that are set in the diary. I probably should, but I have a constant noise of communication going on with the people that I work with all the time. So it's the best way, and I'm going to probably come a cropper here, but because I did this and I did a massive blooper, but the best way I can give you is like analogies, right, of a football pitch, right? Mm-hmm. And I know nothing about football.
I know you don't.
Yeah. So, but it's like the ball's in play, right? Business is like football. The ball's in play, and we're kicking the ball around all the time. So chapter 2 is and the clients of the ball, and I'll be passing the ball to the team. They'll be passing it back. I'll run with it. I'll kick it downfield. They'll cross it in, and I'll try and score a goal. That it is a absolute epitome of a team game. And anyone who thinks that this is a one-player game, business is a one-player game, is a sole trader.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And you still, because again, you're not a recruiter, so you can't get into, and we talked a bit about this before the show today, and it's the same with me, right? Even though I am probably now, I've got so into LinkedIn and strategy, and my brand personally is what's accelerated Hoxo's growth. And now I personally coach recruiters out to market, but I still don't pretend I'm a marketing. I've not got a degree in marketing. I don't run campaigns. My agency company has evolved without me pretty much, because I'm probably too annoying in there because I don't know. I get in the way of shit. I think it'd be quite similar for you in recruitment. Like, it's not like they can go on, Leo, find us from some Python developer. You can't do it. So.
No, but I said to you earlier, if you see me on LinkedIn Recruiter, we're in trouble. I think, I said, so it's a team game, right? And my place on the field, on the pitch, is to be 70% of my time thinking about where the business is going, talking to our clients, understanding their needs, understanding our clients' industries and their needs, making sure my team are motivated, are engaged, are happy. And my dashboard consistently is around sort of, macroeconomics of what our clients' industries are doing, how our clients are feeling from a service point of view, delivering, and how motivated and engaged and happy at the chapter 2, we call them Wolfpack, are, and they're my 3-4 things that I look at on a daily basis, and I use the team around me to extend reach into the other locations and the in-house teams that we have.
From a culture perspective, then, because I know Oliver was a big organization, very face-to-face. I mean, I used to meet you for coffees in where was it again? Farringdon, wasn't it? Before you went to the office.
Yeah.
And you used to be there. You're in London now. It's all a lot of it's remote. I know you come to London once a week or whatever you do. Yeah. How are you finding that cultural shift? And are you able? Do you feel? Have you got it right? Are you finding any challenges with keeping this culture, this wolf pack, when you're not necessarily around them all the time?
Yeah, I think we're doing all right. It's definitely different. The benefit that we've got is that Chapter 2 was founded in this nightmare environment, right? So we were like, born in the dark, So we kind of like found our way, and to quote Bain, but anyway, we were born in this like period. So we kind of like I hired most of the team without meeting them in person. Yeah. We set up a way of working, got them kit during this pandemic. So we designed our people and culture around it because we didn't know any different.
What does it look like then? How do you balance it now? Give us an indication of how do you keep it ticking?
Yeah, it's starting to change now because I want to create more personal engagement with the team. So as an example, last night, or yesterday, we had the team. We have an office in central London. We have an office near Moorgate, and we generally ask the team to get together on a Wednesday and a Thursday. Most of our clients aren't in the office. The ones that are, we go in and see the clients, and we have effectively a team day on a Wednesday and a Thursday, where we're all sort of in the office, together. At the end of that day, I generally always try and do a town hall every 2 weeks or once a month that basically allows everybody to talk about what they're doing on their clients, what we're doing from a people culture point of view, what we're doing from a new business point of view, what we're doing from a global expansion point of view, where we're reinvesting the money, what tech products we're bringing on board. And I do that and talk to the team so they know where we're going, right? So they can see where their career can go. And then I take them out for drinks and we have some fun. So I think we've gone from a place whereby everything was on Zoom to, and that's how we started the company and operationalized the company and the people and culture. We're now moving to a place whereby we've got a bit of both worlds. And I think that will be the case for most of next year, possibly half of next year. And then I'm hoping things will start to, be a bit more fluid. Those who want to be in the office full-time can be in the office full-time, and those that don't come in part-time. But we will definitely, I think it's really important that we have our own culture. And while I support people that, need to and want to work from home, to be connected to a business like ours, you need to be there in person partially.
Yeah. I think we've struggled. We as a business, we went remote, didn't we? And we started hiring internationally, as you helped us with a lot of that. And, So now we've got 35 people in different, half of it's in South Africa. We've got a couple in the US, Portugal. So it's a lot harder. We can't, the UK and the main hubs are UK and South Africa. We're trying to introduce that in those locations. Yeah. But we've got, people up north like me. You got people in on the south coast in England. You got people in Cape Town, Durban, Joburg. So it's not like we're in London and Joburg. So we're finding that as a bit of a challenge, if I'm honest. It's not the easiest. Also, just so you know, a couple of your team, Eureka and Caitlin, have both said they're proud to be part of the Wolf Pack in the comments. Anyone who's listening as well, if you're live, if you've got any questions for Leo, I'll happily present them to them. So let me know. All right. So what's the future, Leo? Like, I mean, you always inspire me. Every time I speak to you, you inspire me. But I've never asked you that. Like, where is this business going? Like, is it another Oliver? Is it that scale, or where are we headed?
Well, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't inspired by what Oliver had done. And Oliver never planned to be as big as it was, as quick as it was. I remember sitting with Simon, we're in a gym and we were actually in a sauna, and he said, I'm going to get this company to 40 million quid. And we're like, oh my God, I can get 40 million quid. And we blinked and we're at 150 million quid, wow, in turnover. So, I don't like to set sort of too many sort of parameters, but the aim is to build out a company that's got multiple geographic locations, that adds value to its customers and its clients by attracting and building them an amazing workforce, right? And helping them deliver their strategies through having the best talent. And whether that's just a UK business, whether that's an international business, I don't know yet. I know for a fact we're going to be opening Q1. I can tell you in Q1 next year, we're going to be opening in 2 more geographic locations. We've got an office in Johannesburg, an office in Cape Town. We've got an office in the UK. We're going to have an office in Berlin and Boston before the end of Q1 next year. My background is to manage and run global operations. So, the benefit of my last job was I've got friends around the world, and I've got a good network. And if I make a phone call to somebody in a foreign country, I can generally get some advice and help. So the aim is to build this company as big and as fast as we can.
I love it. So let's go into you as a human then, and your habits. So you've said you wake up early, you've got the kids, you're in work. So for 10 hours a day, what are your do you have any habits or processes? Like, I've seen you do a lot of writing on boards, you do a lot of writing on pads. Like, whenever I'm with you, you tend to draw shit out. You're quite visual.
Yeah.
Is there something you live by every day? Like, for example, me, I've got a Trello board open, and I have these three things where I have to do, in progress, and done. And that's kind of my whole world is based on that. And then when my direct reports, I have a board for each of them, which has the same 3 things. And I try and keep it dead simple. I think you probably taught me that, to be honest. But how do you live daily and keep, because I think you're good at simplifying shit. And it's so mad what's going on. How do you keep it clear on what you're doing and how you're doing it?
I think as far as discipline's concerned, I kind of I think you've got to know your limitations. So I'm best in the mornings, right? So I can regularly, and I have done more recently, start work at 5:30 before my son wakes up. And I hear him wake up and I'll go up and see him. And I'm bright as a button.
Same.
But you try and put a conference call or a meeting in my diary past 9 o'clock, it's getting declined. Because I'm horrendous. Yeah, I'm horrendous. Because I shut down. I'm knackered, So I know my limitations. I know if I need to do anything that's quite heavy going, do it in the morning. And I do the light touch stuff in the afternoon. I believe in regular, constant communication with people through the many mediums that we have access to now, whether it be just a Teams call, a WhatsApp call, a WhatsApp group message, a WhatsApp voice note, just to keep things going. I'm always communicating all of the time. Mm-hmm. And I think as one of the main sort of disciplines I can really tell you is that I have probably been into some level of fitness or training my whole sort of fairly adult life. From the age of 15, going to the gym. And the one thing about the gym, whether it's running, lifting weights, or anything, is if you want to have personal physical progression, you have to go through some level of resilience and pain.
Yeah.
And it's built outside of the comfort zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're inside your comfort zone for long periods of time, you're going backwards. So I thrive on living and working and being in an environment where I know I'm out of my comfort zone, but I don't stress myself out about it. I just accept it and I work it out, and I bring people around me that can help me work it out. That's the aim. So discipline is the difference between what you want now and what you want most.
Wow. Yeah. What you want now and what you want most. They're two different. Yeah, they are very different. They're very different. Because what you want now might be an easy afternoon or a lie-in. I've started doing it. I've realized actually that when I wake up in the morning, I'm the same as you. I'm so wired, clear. My brain is so actually going to the gym in the morning and exercising is a waste because I'm better. I'm better at my laptop, and I actually enjoy I quite like having a coffee at 5:36. Everyone's asleep, whatever, and I'm just fucking on the zone. And I've won business in the last month by waking up early and working at that time. And then lunchtime, I've now blocked out. Apart from this on a Thursday, I block out 12 till 2 o'clock. So 12 o'clock, I'll go and train. And then I've got 12 till 1 to eat and decompress and then work my way back in. And then from 2 till 6, 7, I'm back on it full pelt. So, but I used to think I had to start the day with exercise. It had to be, you read a million books about the 5 a.m. club and jump in the morning. But I don't need an extra kick in the morning. I've got a natural kick. I'm the same though. 8 o'clock at night, I am zonked. I'm shocking. I'm a waste of time.
I'm just staring at Netflix at 9 o'clock at night. Just stare at Netflix.
How do you manage to? I know you're married, and I know you live in Jersey, and I know your wife's in a high-powered role. She's in, is it financial services she works within? Right?
Yeah, it's actually fiduciary services, but yeah, same thing to me.
Sorry.
It's all finance.
Yeah, that's definitely not a word I roll off the tongue very easily.
No.
But she's a high flyer, she's a high achiever. How are you two? I know you travel. I've seen you in Dubai last week, in Ibiza recently. You look like you're balancing things really well from the outside.
Yeah.
How do you keep this going? And what's your secret? And is it going? Have you struggled with that balance when you're both so committed to work? You've got 2 kids and you've got each other. How are you managing that?
So it's an interesting question. It's a really good one. I think your sort of your life partner is is the most important choice you can make in life, right? Your life partner. And I took a while to choose my life partner. And when I met her, I knew that every other thing was off in my world. That was just the only person I ever wanted to be with. So I picked well when it came to someone that got me, understood me, because one thing that, Zena, my wife, understands is that when I have to go to London for 3 days and I don't phone her for 2 of them, she gets it.
Yeah.
Because she understands that. And when she has to go and I need to stay and be with the kids, I get it. And I never met anybody who was quite as ambitious as her as well. Obviously, probably her and Simon, they're 2. I want to marry Simon.
That sauna was just a friendship.
Exactly. So, and I think one of the things that she said to me when we were I thought I was career orientated, right? And I thought I was ambitious. And then one thing she said to me when we were dating or whatever, she said, I'll never forget, she said, what are you doing the weekend? And we were just dating, so we didn't see each other every weekend. And I said, I don't know, probably going out, drinking, or do whatever. And she goes, the weekends are for getting ahead in your career. So you should be reading, researching, what you're doing. She was literally I'll never forget that. She woke me up going, Jesus Christ, there's another level that I'm not even aware of that she's operating at. I need to step it up. And that was like in 2015, I think 16. She said that to me, and never forgot that. And
do you both still do you still give yourselves time to work at the weekends, or is that slowed down a bit?
Yeah, we do like a couple of hours. Weekends are for kids for us. We focus on the kids. This balance of like work, life, family. You know, my why is the children and the family. That's my why, and I protect that time. So I give a minimum 50 hours worth of my time to the business a week, and even if I'm not at my desk, that's proper dedicated time like this, right? Then between in and out of the shower, at the gym, I'm thinking about work all the time, right? So I have to prioritize the time with my children because that's why I'm doing it, and I want to be a dad that's there and present. So I make sure that I protect the weekends, and we both protect the weekends. And we make sure we engage, we're there with kids. Yes, there are times when we work late nights and times we have to work in mornings, but generally, rule of thumb, kids, families, weekends are families.
So do you think the weekend is the time to get ahead in your career will apply before you have kids, and then it's harder?
Depending on what you want out of life, yeah. I mean, if you have kids, and there are people obviously that don't prioritize the kids and prioritize their career, and they'll have the most amazing career, but maybe not have a relationship with their kids. It's what you want out of life, and you've got to understand what you want most. And for me, I won't sacrifice that. So I believe I can get to where I want to get to within the time that I allocate for my business in the career, and I ask a lot of my teams, but I also make sure they do the same.
Yeah. Well, judging by the comments in the section, we've got Joyce, we've got Farah, we've got all sorts of people popping up. I think they're pretty inspired and they're motivated by it, which is great. And then when it comes to, you've mentioned that the gyms took a side hit, but what about in terms of just you, Leo, like as a person, where's the time for you? Because you got all this business, you got kids, you got your wife. Where I know you did an MBA not too long ago, which was an extra fucking however many hours a week of learning to better yourself. Like, what are you interested in? Like from a self-improvement, hobbies, interests. What and how do you find time for you in this madness that is might be meditation, anything that you're doing to keep yourself feeling good?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good about. I don't do things that don't make me feel good. So I feel good that that stuff you just told me about the team there, that makes me feel good. The fact that I've got people that, and I said this to one of the guys last night, the fact that I've got people paying their mortgages or paying their bills or going on holiday or buying the certain things they want because of an idea that I've come up with in one day, put it onto a PowerPoint presentation, started wheeling it around to people, stick it on LinkedIn. I've got people, because of that idea I've come up with, can buy stuff that they want to buy because they've got jobs that work for us. That's so motivating for me. That makes me feel really good, right? And I got jobs, and that makes me feel great. The fact that that I can do that is again why I get my kick out of. Do I like have to feel that I have to go and sit on an island and hum? No, I don't.
That is such a. By the way, that is the most stereotypical explanation of meditation. I mean, I'm trying to do like 10 minutes a day. There's no fucking humming involved. But anyway,
okay, right, fine, sorry, but you know what I mean. Like get a kick. Like I go on the treadmill for half an hour. I go running with my buddies for an hour. Like I don't tend to talk when I'm running or in the gym. I don't talk. That is my time to decompress everything. So I like to think through the things that I choose to do, I get my happiness. Spending time with the kids, get my happiness. Working, giving people careers, get my happiness. Go to the gym, decompress, get my happiness. Because I want to do stuff that makes me happy. If I was doing something and it wasn't making me happy, I just wouldn't do it anymore. So I kind of like, I don't know if I buy into this whole, that's my time. I get a kick out of, you joke because we call this whole the chapter 2 wolf pack thing, but I am a pack animal. I get my energy from other people. I'm an extrovert. and that's where I get my energy from, other people. So the bit about me is I do have a relentless work ethic. I have a relentless gym ethic when I do it. I am fighting the dad bod because I eat my kids' food, and I don't go to gym as much as I want to, but I still train hard when I'm in there. I believe, working hard, being kind to people, being a good father, husband, and son. They're my main things. That's really it.
It's inspirational, mate. I think I always get my energy from you when we catch up, and I think I'm proud because I've seen the whole journey. I've seen you talk about an idea that I thought would work, and I knew you'd be capable, but to watch it happen we're not even. The funny thing is, we're not even started. It's such an early stage. It's not even got anywhere. But I hope other people in the sector perk up and look at this and think, shit, this is different. This is exciting. This is, there's not many people who come in with a completely fresh approach from another sector and disrupt and just think, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to do it my way. If you're gonna, sorry, I've been muting myself intermittently because my cough is so bad. But when I'm mid talking, I can't do that. If there's anyone listening and you give them, I don't know, 3 pieces of advice to really grow their business and not get trapped in this hamster wheel that a lot of smaller recruitment companies get into, which is I'm controlling everything. I'm the biller, I'm the leader, I'm everything basically. And I've just got a few people around me that do a bit of, admin. For some people, that's what they want to do. But the people that want to break out, and I know there's thousands of them that are struggling. Could you give us 3 pieces of advice that you think would allow people to start to scale their organization with consistency and sustainability?
Yeah, okay, I'll give that a go. There's. I've always been. I don't know if I'm going to succinctly do this in 3 pieces of advice, but I'll give you the chessboard analogy, right? I think people that have got there are a biller in their own recruitment agency. They have the inability to see and play a game of chess because they are one of the pieces on the chessboard. And they are only looking at it from a sort of view where they can see the pieces around them and they can't see what's coming. They can't see where everybody else is going. They haven't got that bird's eye view. And one of the things, and I believe this to be a massive benefit to the strategy of what, and one of the reasons why we've been able to grow so quickly is because I do not get on the chessboard. I play the game of chess, and I have the people around me to sort of work with me. And I think it's incredibly important to do that. So if you want to build your business, you've got to have that bird's eye view and have that vision and strategy. And you've got to get out of the trenches to be able to do that. That's not to say that you don't have to get in the trenches time, because generally I also get in the trenches when I need to, but it's the ability to get back out again, quickly. I visualize like a helicopter, right? So you got this business, you got your helicopter, and you're hovering across your finance, you're hovering across your invoicing and your clients and your recruitment and all that sort of stuff. And you got to know where to be able to land and drop your helicopter and then hover back up again, and then hover it over there. That needs some attention. Hover it back up again. Hover down there. Hover back up again. That's what I do effectively. If you're serious about growing your recruitment business, it doesn't happen if you treat your business like a cash point. You've got to treat your business like a living, breathing organism that needs investment. It needs care. It needs looking after like a child, right? So it needs to be nurtured. So just like the people in the business. So you can't treat it like you have to reinvest in it, is what I'm saying, right? So you have to continue to put money in and give it the food that it needs. So that was 2. I think the final thing is really the discipline and the work ethic. It's not easy. Now, I know a lot of business leaders and people. I nearly put a post on Instagram, and I'll give you an example, or a link. And I could have put this on LinkedIn, but basically, so people will see the Dubai trips, and you joked about the apartment, all that sort of stuff, and that sort of thing. But what they don't see is that for the first day of our holiday in Dubai, I didn't leave the hotel room. I was working. My wife was on a conference with 400 people. We were both joking about the fact we got to this amazing hotel. We both sat in the room for the first day of our holiday, you know, and we're always on our phone. We're always checking in. We're always waiting. And it is a lifestyle that you choose to lead.
I remember you said to me you were on FaceTime before you went down the aisle on your wedding day.
Wow, yeah, I think I was. Yeah.
I hope she didn't see that.
No, I know. It was really, I know. I had loads going on that time as well. I was with my son. When my son was born, you know, it's going to probably make me sound really bad, right? But my son was born and he went into intensive care, and I didn't leave his side the whole period for 8 days. He was in intensive care. But obviously, I was sitting there working, you know. I couldn't, I was helpless to do anything. So I wasn't going to sit and stare at a wall. No, but I was working.
Yeah.
Because, you know, yeah, I was there next to my son. I couldn't do anything more for him. You know, the nurses were looking after him, but I was sat there working. You know, you got to be relentless. It's just not for the faint-hearted. If you're not up for it, let someone take a salary.
Yeah.
But you know, or you know, there are 3 stages. There's like take a salary, have an amazing career, have an amazing lifestyle. There's nothing wrong with that. The second stage is have a business, have your own business, work your own hours, have your own clients, and don't grow it. Just treat it as a cash point. That's fine as well. And then there's the one that I want to do, which is go and build something that can live on. You know?
Yeah. Leo, been a pleasure, mate. Thank you. We've been talking about this for a long time. I'm glad we finally got it together. If anyone's sat there listening, wants to reach out to you, ask you any questions, LinkedIn the best place to message you on there?
Yeah, message me on LinkedIn. Get in touch. More than happy to be an ear of advice or offer any help I can. Yeah, more than happy to do that. Thank you for having me on. Again, you know, you guys have been amazing for all of the chats and marketing stuff that we've done. I regularly got messages from people going, "Oh my God, you guys, your marketing is good," and I didn't want to tell them who I was using because it was my secret. I was like,
I'm telling everyone.
Sean's going to kill me, but I don't want to tell you who I'm using because it's good. So,
no, we got capacity. We got to bring them all in. We got capacity. Don't worry. Yeah. I'll just work on my deathbed. It's fine. But now, mate, it's been a pleasure, and thank you to everyone listening live. You know, we've got Abby now pumping. Abby Whitbread's giving it big. Proud to be part of the journey. We've got the whole team on there. We've got lots of people commenting, lots of people listening. You know, it's testament to what you're doing, and thanks to every single one of you. I really, really appreciate it. And we'll check in soon. Thank you, as always, for listening to today's show. I truly, truly hope that you got value from it. That's the only reason I take time every week, is to ensure that my audience, future and existing recruitment owners, are learning from each other to make this industry that I love so much stronger. Today's episode was brought to you by Hoxo Media. I am the CEO and founder of Hoxo Media, and we are the world's leading content marketing and personal branding agency for recruitment businesses specifically. So we are working with over 200 agencies and 2,000 recruiters right now, both managing the brands, producing content, building written, video, podcast content for niche recruitment agencies all over the world, as well as coaching at a desk level individual recruiters in your businesses how to be better on LinkedIn. That's how to brand themselves. That's how to produce content. That's how to use the opportunity on LinkedIn to get traffic to their profiles and turn that into business. We're coaching people all over the world every single day. If any of that sounds of interest, please do visit www.hoxomedia.com or drop me, Sean Anderson, a personal message on LinkedIn. I would love to talk to you. Tune in again next week. That's live on LinkedIn at 12 p.m. on Thursday, or you can catch the show on the following Monday from 6 a.m. on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I'll see you soon.